Hi, we have a question here that's based on the properties of consecutive integers. So the first step starts with reading the question carefully. The question says, what is the sum of four consecutive, that means one after the other, odd integers? So the odd integers are the numbers which when divided by 2 leave them into 1. It's a data sufficiency question. We have 5 options and we have to use these statements to understand which option is the correct one. Now we need the unique answer. Just to answer the question that what are the odd integers, here is the example: 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, etc. These are odd integers. Consecutive means one after the other. Now let's look at the first statement first. The first statement says that sum of the four integers, the sum of those four consecutive odd integers is less than 350. Now we can see that those four integers could be 1, 3, 5 or 7, because their sum, if you see, is equal to 16. Whereas the set of those four consecutive odd integers could very well be 3, 5, 7 and 9. And if you look at the sum, then it is 24. Because we don't have a unique value of the sum, therefore we can comfortably say that the first statement alone is not sufficient. And having said that, we can clearly eliminate option A and option D at this stage. Now, let's look at the second statement. Second statement says that sum of the four integers when divided by 10 becomes a perfect square. So the perfect square are the numbers which are the squares of integers. So some of the examples of perfect square could be 1, which is 1 square, 4, which is 2 square, 9, which is 3 square, similarly 16, 25, 36, and so on. I can write many such cases. After 36 we have 49, then the next we have 8 square, 64, 9 square, 81, then 100, and so on. The question says that sum of the four integers when divided by 10 becomes a perfect square, which means the sum of those numbers could be a perfect square followed by 1 0, because when a number is divided by 10, it just cancels out 1 0. That means the sum could either be 10 or 40 or 90 or 160 or 250 or 360 or 490 or 640, 810 or 1000, etc. These are the possible summations of those four consecutive odd numbers, right? So, but since we are talking about four consecutive odd integers, so let's understand some more properties of odd integers. If the first odd integer I take as a minus 3d, then the next odd integer will be a minus d, the next odd integer will be a plus d, and the next odd integer will be a plus 3d. Now, you can see that the gap between any two consecutive numbers is 2, and I have taken them in such a way that their sum comes out to be 4a. That is the reason why I took a minus d and a plus d, and similarly a minus 3d and a plus 3d. In any arithmetic progression, one more understanding is that the mean is always equal to the median. So I started with this understanding that if I have to bring their average is equal to a, then I can take one number, one less to the left, one less, one more to the right. That means I can say that if d is equal to 1, so the four number will be a minus 3, a minus 1, a plus 1, a plus 3. These are the four numbers that we have. In that case, the summation of these four numbers becomes 4a. This tells us one more thing, that the sum should be a multiple of 4. Now, look at these numbers. The perfect square is followed by 1 0. 10 is not divisible by 4. 40 is, 90 is not, 160 is, 250 is not, 360 is. Which means one possibility is if 4a is equal to 40. 40 means the sum of them is 40. That means the average of them is 10. That means the set will be 10, keeping in between one number less is 9, one number greater is 11. Previous odd number is 7, the next odd number is 13. So the four numbers could be this. The second possibility is that the sum could be 160. The average is 40, 160 divided by 4. That means one number is 1 less than 40, another number is 1 greater than 40, then 3 less than 40, and 3 greater than 40. So the four numbers could be them as well. The sum will continue to change in this case. In fact, the sum could also be equal to 360. In that case, the average will be 360 divided by 490. That means the numbers could be 89, 91, 93, and 87. These numbers. Therefore, the second statement alone as well is proved as not sufficient, because we have various possibilities. Therefore, B option is out. Now comes the third stage. That means now we have to combine them. After combining them, the first statement only constrains us that some of those four numbers should be less than 350. That means 360 is no more acceptable, but 160 and 40 are still acceptable. That means those four numbers could be either 7, 9, 11, 13, or the second possibility is that they can be 37, 39, 41, and 43. That means the sum in those cases could either be 40 or could be 160. Therefore, even together we have inconsistent solution to the question, and we say that the result is not sufficient, and therefore the answer to the question is option E. I hope that explains. Thank you so much.